Hey guys, so another Predator video today. This video is about a Predator that works in the military. Sorry, is a military veteran. He's got an excuse which some people may try and understand, but has been called out by others. So let's get into this.
It doesn't take long for 27-year-old Stephen Buchanan to send a selfie.
Stephen Buchanan. Let's have a look at his background, shall we? Before becoming involved in the sting, Stephen Buchanan wanted to become a Stratford police officer. It scares me when these people want to have a position of power, whether it's like a teacher or a policeman, anything of power, even like I've seen like a priest before, like anyone with a position of power that can manipulate young people scares the shit out of me that predators even consider those lines of work.
And start sexting with our decoy, posing as a 13-year-old girl named Bailey.
Why do they all feel the need to sex with a 13-year-old?
Buchanan is in the Connecticut National Guard.
Did he park further away? Because this is the first person who's like walked this far, and the cameras had to pick up a lot further away.
And an Iraq war vet. He works for a local cable TV company. But today, Buchanan is the predator on the loose.
He's walking backwards and forwards a lot, isn't he? Is he nervous, or is he looking for like surveillance vehicles or something?
He sends our decoys a video so graphic we can't show it on national TV.
It's a cum shot, isn't it? Why would you send something crude on video to a 13-year-old? And someone in law enforcement had to watch it.
You like sex?
LOL, I'll be 14 next month.
The fact that that's the response and that didn't make him think, because it's not like it's just in her bio and she never mentions it. It's brought up a lot how old these teens are, or obviously the people who are faking how old the teens are, and it never turns them off. You think they'd be like, oh, it would be an immediate turn off. You would never continue with the conversation, I guess, unless you're attracted to it.
You know you're gonna shower with me Thursday night.
He's looking forward to getting this 13-year-old naked in a small room where he can touch her. How do you normalize this?
I'm gonna pick you up and put you against the shower wall.
So immediately thinking about having sex and sexual positions with a 13-year-old. So gross.
Buchanan calls Bailey to confirm the date.
Looking forward to me showing you around tonight.
Yeah.
Obviously, again, I've seen this, and this guy is honestly one of the scariest to me. I'll explain to you why when it happens.
Detectives prepare for an arrest they fear could become violent.
It doesn't, spoiler alert, but there is a good reason for why they're worried.
Our night vision cam shows Buchanan circling the block.
He was on the lookout. That's really suspicious.
Finally, he parks his car in the driveway and walks to the back door.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm here, I believe.
You're here, you believe. Then, like, maybe knock on the door and stop being creepy.
I'm just really scared. Can you just, like, prove to me right now that you don't have a gun?
Because this guy's an army vet, they assumed that it's possible he could be carrying a weapon at the time, and they've had to do this with other people as well. They've had to have the decoy, have the person show their stomach and like the tops of the legs and stuff to make sure that this person was not carrying, so they didn't get anywhere near the decoy with a weapon, because obviously that's incredibly dangerous.
Turn around.
I will say, do they never clock the fact that someone who's 13 knows how to look for a weapon? Because should that not immediately tell you this person might be involved with law enforcement? But I guess they're not thinking with that head.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't want you to think I'm crazy.
No, I trust me, I understand.
That's a better response, also, than some of the others, and have been asked to do this in TCAP. Almost found it laughable that the teenager was reacting in a very nervous sense.
Okay. Do you want to come in?
You want to go?
This guy will not come in for the decoy.
What's happening is even scarier than we anticipated. Buchanan is actually trying to lure Bailey into his car.
Can you just, like, come in and we can chat for a little bit? I feel really weird about just, like...
I could come right there and chat. I'm not coming in.
Why would you not be understanding of a 13-year-old not wanting to immediately jump into a car with a stranger? You would think that maybe anyone would feel more comfortable having a one-on-one conversation in an apparent empty house. Is still fucking creepy and scary. But, like, you would think they would feel, as an adult to a 13-year-old, that, oh, I understand why they might want to build up that personal connection before jumping into a car with someone they don't know, going in the opposite direction of their house, somewhere they feel safe.
You want to show you around?
Just be driving around, you know?
Trust me, I know too.
You understand, but you're trying to lure her out and away from the house that she feels safe in. You sound like a fucking serial killer.
I don't know. Steven, I don't know.
Like I said, I don't have nothing on me.
Men don't have to be intimidating by just having a weapon on them. Especially someone who's obviously an adult compared to a child is larger, more likely to cause harm or possible assault to someone. Unfortunately, I was having this conversation literally yesterday. You have to assume the worst to keep yourself safe a lot of the time. I know it's a horrible thing women have to do, and a lot of men unfortunately don't really understand that, you know, if you're walking home at night, even if it's, you know, 8 o'clock at night but it's pitch black outside, having someone walk so close behind you, they may have no malintent whatsoever, but it's incredibly intimidating and scary because they're likely stronger or bigger, or, you know, they might get the drop on you or whatever. Like, it can be really fucking terrifying. And doing something as little as, even if you've got nowhere to cross the road to, walking as wide on the path as possible to pass someone. And I use this metaphor a lot in my everyday life to make people understand how intimidating and scary it can be. It's like having a bowl of M&Ms. And there's 100 M&Ms, and 10 of those M&Ms is poisonous. But there's no way to differentiate until you take a bite. You're going to put your hand in? Men don't wear stickers to say, I sexually assault women, I'm violent to women. There's no way to tell the difference. You may look like the nicest man on earth, but you're still fucking intimidating, especially at night. And to do this to a 13-year-old is really, really, really creepy, because you don't have to have a weapon to be intimidating.
What if I took you to an empty parking lot and tell you to drive?
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Would you like that?
This is the scariest fucking thing he says, and Mr. Gigi explains it really well.
Would you like me to take you to an empty parking lot with no witnesses and have your hands be occupied while mine are free?
I don't know.
You're gonna put your trust in me?
Why would she put her trust in you when she doesn't actually know you? He comes off like a serial killer, like he's trying to lure someone out of their house. He's already circled the block multiple times, looking for possible witnesses. Do you know what I mean?
As you're about to learn, Buchanan may have something more sinister in mind.
Fucking zoom in, so creepy.
You get used to each other. If you don't like it, you go home and I'll leave.
Surely, if you wanted her to get used to you, you would go in the house so she could recognise if you were a fucking creep and she was comfortable getting in the car alone with you first. Logic.
Stephen, I'm going to need to talk to you for a minute. Please come in. Come on in, please.
Unbelievably, Buchanan comes inside to talk.
Unbelievably, he's right. He wouldn't come in for the person he was sexting with, but he would come in for Chris. There is context to this. Just wait until you find out what was in his car. I'm starting to wonder he wasn't even there to possibly assault, or even, in his probably mind, consensually have sex with this 13-year-old. It's not consent, obviously. That's why I use quotation marks, just in case someone's not watching me. I don't know. I'm starting to genuinely wonder if she was never going to go back to that house, because it has all of the makings of someone who wasn't going to return her.
Why don't you take a seat right over there? What was on the agenda tonight?
I was just gonna take her out and show her around.
Take her out and show her around where?
So they've got someone, it looks like, directly in the doorway that Chris normally comes out of, and I think that's again because they're not certain, obviously, of if he could just pull a gun. They need to make sure they have someone immediately available.
Fairfield.
Fairfield.
That's it.
And what exactly were you going to show her?
The beach, sites to go to.
So you're the welcome wagon here in Fairfield.
How many fucking underage children has this guy offered to show around?
You're just going to do a favor for a 13-year-old girl.
Well,
The logic's not logicking, apparently.
As I'm questioning Buchanan, our fence cam shows the police getting into position, covering the exits in case he bolts.
Do they not cover the exits for anybody else in case they run? Because surely they don't want predators to get away.
what happened was,
Okay.
when my cousin came, she did the same thing
When your cousin came, she did the same thing. What do you mean?
with this. An older person.
An older
Showed
person
her
came
around.
over and
Yeah.
showed your 13-year-old around town. And what happened in that case?
she got assaulted.
This makes no sense. He's saying that his 13-year-old cousin met up with someone older, was shown around town and sexually assaulted. So what he wanted to do is go to another 13-year-old and not sexually assault them. It's almost like he's saying, well, I realised how easy it was. Because what is the point of the story otherwise? Because it's not making him sound any better.
She got assaulted.
And I was in the Army.
That doesn't make you trustworthy. Do you know how many women want to sign up to the army or military services? And the reason they don't is because there's been so many men. I mean, look at the amount of people that come forward and say that they've been assaulted by police officers in their custody. Just because you're in the army does not mean that you're trustworthy. Just because you fought for your country. Unfortunately, there's still some sickos.
I don't like people doing that.
You don't like people doing that. So what? You were gonna be the good Samaritan this time and not be the person that assaults the 13-year-old? Even though you already sent videos that were so graphic they can't be shown. What are you playing with?
What is it? Is that your spider?
Oh. I wonder what he's playing with. This could go on my microphone as a muffler. Do you want it? You can play with it.
And you decided, because you're former military, that you were going to come over and show this 13-year-old girl around so she'd be safe.
Yes.
The math is not mathing. Is that boy math? Is that what that is?
And you want me to buy that?
I'm telling you the truth, sir.
Telling the truth?
I hate guessing what a guy really feels and then straight afterwards, no, you're gonna shower with me Thursday night. She's talking about feelings, he's talking about fucking.
The sexually charged chat proves he's lying.
So does the video, apparently.
And so what is all this talk back and forth
He's like, oh, fuck, you have the chat. Here's my Uno reverse card.
between you and a girl you think is 13? You know you're going to shower with me Thursday night. What night is this? What night is this?
Sorry. I can't, Chris. I'm guessing it's Thursday, Chris.
Did you send her any pictures of yourself?
I'm guessing that's a yes. So maybe not just videos, but pictures too.
Then you talk about actually having sex with her and Skyping it to an ex-boyfriend.
I don't remember that. He wants... That's making child pornography. Also, her ex-boyfriend or his?
Now that doesn't exactly back up your story about being the protector of Fairfield County, Connecticut, does it?
No, it doesn't, Chris.
I'm listening.
Sounds such like a teacher. I'm listening.
There's a horrible lapse in judgment.
A lapse in judgment. So, was the text messages a lapse in judgment? The video turning up, circling the block? Which part was a lapse in judgment? Because it sure as shit feels like a choice, not a lapse in judgment.
Help me to understand what it was that really brought you here tonight.
He wasn't thinking with his head. He was thinking with a different one.
I haven't been the same since I deployed to Iraq.
This does so many servicemen a disservice. Men and women, excuse me. Because PTSD, which is the excuse he's trying to use, does not make you a predator or a pedophile. And other servicemen, which I imagine in the update we'll do up in a minute once I get to that, but I know that other servicemen have called his behaviour out, because I watched the Cinnamon Toast Ken video as well. And he mentioned that other servicemen have turned around and said, we disavow this man. Turning around and trying to use PTSD, which a lot of people genuinely deal with and are still traumatised with, as an excuse for being a fucking pedophile is disgusting and despicable.
It's just, I don't know, I do have problems sleeping at night.
That's very common for returning. I get that.
What does that have to do with turning up at a 13-year-old's house to take them out after you've had sexually charged conversation? How does that correlate? It's not adding up for me.
I've never been to war, so I can't pass judgment.
No, but other servicemen have, and they've said that it's bollocks that he's trying to use that as an excuse.
But I still have a difficult time connecting that to trying to
molest an underage child.
Sexually solicit a 13-year-old girl.
Someone just just goes off inside of my head.
And I imagine it had been going off inside of your head long before you were even in the military. So don't use that as an excuse.
Did you have these thoughts before you were in Iraq?
It doesn't just start. So they say with, for example, violence against women, it starts with words. Turning up to a 13-year-old's house after you've had a sexually charged conversation, it doesn't just start over fucking night. From what I understand, it like builds up and up and up. From what I understand, you basically figure out that you're attracted to underage people, then you'll likely look for child pornography. You don't just turn around and are attracted to a 13-year-old. This is clearly, and this is not just for him, this is for a lot of others, but you are clearly attracted to people underage if you're sending sexual text messages to them and thinking about them in a sexual way. This takes years for them to turn up and do something like this. Going on a long, long time for them to have the courage and the need to turn up at a child's house. Because you don't just turn around as an adult and be like, I don't care if this person is underage.
And how many times have you done this?
Honestly?
Honestly.
It's my first.
Your first time?
First time.
That's what they all say.
The problem with that, Stephen, is that you surfaced talking in a very similar way to a girl named Brittany.
It's bad enough that they feel the need to talk to one underage person, but the fact they're possibly traumatizing more than one at a time. But I bet they identify themselves as good guys, right? God, if they're good guys, what are the bad guys? Seriously.
You just lied to me.
No.
We have Bailey and we have Brittany. This is Bailey tonight.
This is my first time doing it on a chat site.
I find that very... The fact that he had the confidence and courage to talk to not one, but two underage people means that it's unlikely that this was the first time he's ever spoken to someone who identified themselves as underage. And again, not just him, but possibly John Dupay, because he did exactly the same thing.
Did you bring condoms?
No, I did not.
They always ask that, and I know that's like a point of contention to prove that they were likely going to have sex because they have something that would aid in literally only like sexual conduct. Considering what's in the boot of his car.
But your intent seems pretty clear from this discussion you had.
Yes, but then I told her afterwards, after I thought about it again.
After you thought about it again. After you'd had a sexually explicit conversation and sent a sexually explicit video. That's when you decided that actually I didn't want to have sex with a 13-year-old. Really? You expected to believe that?
I told her we weren't going to do nothing tonight.
Again, tonight, meaning maybe in a few dates or maybe in a few years after I've groomed them at the very least. The way they structure sentences tells you everything you need to know.
Can I show you on...
I don't want you to reach in your pocket.
Can you reach him?
What pocket is it? Go ahead, pull it on.
I will say I appreciate the fact that he's putting his hands out as if to show he's not a danger to Chris. Maybe he doesn't want to get shot by someone.
I said, let's just hang out later.
I know, but you know what that sounds like to me? It sounds like somebody who's trying to create some kind of a plausible excuse.
Or he's trying to make out that he's not trying to pressure the underage person so that they will go on the date, and then once he's on the date, he will pressure them. Either or.
You see how this looks, right?
Yes, I know.
So what do you think should happen?
Bring me down to the police station.
That is going to happen, yeah.
Well, there's something else that you need to know. I'm Chris Hansen, and this is an investigation called Hansen versus Predator. And you're going to try to get some help?
Yes.
Funny how he asks the military vet that, but he doesn't ask any of the other people. It's so strange how we look at other people in a more respectable, authoritative role in a different way to how we saw someone who is a mailman, for example. I don't see him as any different.
All right, Stephen, you're free to go. And I hope you get the help.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
On a rainy night in Connecticut, a predator arrives at this house decorated for Halloween.
Halloween!
At the end of the day, you showed up. You circled the house. That's a little creepy, I gotta tell you, Steve.
I understand.
What else did you bring?
Nothing.
After I confront this predator, he leaves the kitchen and walks right into the arms of the police.
They weren't even prepared. All the others, they've already been through that curtain. This one, he gets right into the garage, and it's just as well he stopped and turned at the fucking curtain.
He's handcuffed and put into the back of an unmarked police car.
Is a weapon in the car?
Yes.
The cops search his trunk and make a shocking discovery.
They knew he was likely to have a gun, so this is not a shocking discovery. Also, it's America. A lot of people travel with their guns, whether in their glove compartment, on them, or in their trunk. This is what worries the shit out of me.
.40 caliber Glock.
Along with the legally registered Glock semi-automatic, they find a knife, duct tape, a camera, and a pack of condoms.
A camera, so he's likely to make child pornography. Condoms, so that just gives more evidence to the fact that he was planning to have sex. A knife with his gun, so either he keeps them together or again he was going to use that to try and incite child pornography or sexual assault or something. But also duct tape. Now, I know you can use duct tape for loads of things. It could be that he's got a fucked up car and therefore he's looking to batten his boot all the time in case he needs to make quick amendments. But the fact that he has that by a camera and condoms is really, really fucking scary. And the fact that they don't ask him about that, like, yes, you can come up with 100 million excuses, but, like, it would have been nice to, at the very least, have asked that question, because I find that terrifying.
I first feared it was what cops commonly call a kill kit.
Yeah. Me too. All you needed was some fucking rope or zip ties or some shit. Especially the way he was trawling the area. He would not go inside. He didn't even want to touch the outside of the door. Maybe that's why he didn't want to knock, because he didn't want to leave fingerprints. Like, it could have been a kill kit. It really could have been.
Buchanan was never charged in connection with the items found in his car.
Why?
Gotta keep it together for me, okay? I want to be able to talk to you.
Our dash cam shows him sobbing all the way to the station.
I do not feel sorry for him crying. What he was going to do to that child, whether it be simply being alone with her in a car, assaulting her, or possibly even killing her, I do not feel sorry for him. Not even 1 ounce of me.
Buchanan, still bawling, uses a roll of toilet paper to wipe his eyes.
Why is he going so hard with this guy?
What is it that is so enticing to you?
Oh, do I want to hear this?
About wanting to be this friendly with someone who is this age?
Friendly. You want to use the word friendly. I would use the word sexual. You want to be this sexual with someone who identified themselves as 13.
Something just flipped and switched in my brain, you know, and I never thought about, you know, the consequences.
Again, he's talking about consequences, right? It's the consequences for him that he's thinking about. He's not for a second, not even a millisecond, considering that he would be traumatizing this 13-year-old. If that was a genuine 13-year-old, would have been traumatizing them for the rest of their life. Because that's what it does. Doesn't matter if they didn't turn up. Sexually explicit text messages, photos, videos were sent to someone who identified themselves as 13 years old. It's sick. There's a reason why the consent laws are what they are.
Before I went to the military, I was a normal person.
I doubt it.
And, you know, never ever would ever have a thought about doing anything like this.
I just thought, and now I'm not saying that all military personnel are like this, but obviously you do hear about people who are in the military who go across to other countries and they rape women and children. He's saying, and I'm going to take this at face value for the second, that he was a normal person when he went into the military. Does that mean he possibly got a taste for it when he was in Iraq? Because he was... That's a really horrible thought. Never once for a second watched this and stopped to think that. But I think maybe because of what's going on at the moment between Israel, I don't even want to say in Palestine because it's not, like, it's just Israel terrorizing Palestine. Because of what's going on in Palestine at the moment, it makes me think about that point of view, or at least today.
My body is growing older, it's just, but my mind just...
Kind of still...
It's not getting... It's...
Still like a young mind?
Yes, sir.
But you weren't young when you were in the military. You were of age. So does that mean even when you were at, what, 18, 19, 20, you were finding, again, young people? That doesn't track. Because you could say, my body's getting older, but I'm still finding 20-year-olds attractive, for example. Nobody who is fucking older than, let's say, even 18 is a bit old. But, like, no one over the age of 18 is finding someone under the age of even 16 attractive. No one's talking about having sex with them over text or sending them sexually explicit videos and photos. No one. Because they're a child. This is why I said it doesn't track that this just happened. He's saying that because he's gotten older, his mind is still young. That didn't just happen.
It's taken time to mature to where I should be.
Now, men do mature slower than women. Again, does not track because a lot of men 18, 19, 20 are not finding 13-year-olds attractive, let alone at 27 finding 13-year-olds attractive and wanting to fuck them. So, no.
Going towards a younger person.
She's not a younger person, she's a child. Again, this normalization language of trying to make this person older than they are, excuse their own behavior, is what they do in their mind.
Because they don't have, you know, the responsibilities of an older person or me.
Neither does someone who's unemployed. So why aren't you attracted to someone like that, of age? It's about control. It's about manipulation. It's fucking gross.
They have a lot of free time, so it's just like where I could pay.
The fact that the cop said that makes sense actually is really... You couldn't have said, okay, but someone who's unemployed also would have a lot of free time. So why are you attracted to a 13-year-old? Because actually a 13-year-old, would they not have a lot of free time? Because they would be in school. And if they're not at school, they'd be studying. So how the fuck would they have a lot of free time? That, again, does not make sense.
It's a sickness.
When you say sexual, just give me an idea of what some of those sexual things, what does that mean?
I don't want to hear it. I really don't want to hear it.
Oral sex.
Okay.
Penetration.
What kind of penetration?
Vaginal.
I just can't even consider that that would have been a real child. And that he would have happily made that 13-year-old have oral sex with him, would have possibly even taken their virginity and traumatised them and raped them. Because it's not consent. Even if he considers it consensual, it's not consent, it's rape. And he would have done that to a 13-year-old. Oh, it takes me back to one of JCS's videos where there was a little girl who was stolen from school, lured out by a young woman who was working with this pedophile. She got this little girl into the car. She couldn't stay in the car while she heard this little girl cry whilst he did things to her. And then after he was done, he killed her. That 13-year-old was still somebody's little girl that he could have traumatized. Do you know what I mean? I don't see it any different just because that was a little girl of like, I think she was maybe between 6 to 10 and this identified person was 13. It's no different to me.
Why would you have brought that with you? Is that just
I
always carry it?
I always carry it after, you know, the Marines being shot and everything with ISIS. And
what about the duct tape, the knife, the condoms, and the camera? This is the problem with America and guns. They're not illegal. People are allowed to carry them. If someone was found with a gun in their fucking trunk in the UK, there isn't an excuse. There isn't a, oh, well, I didn't feel safe. Like, you're not allowed to carry even pepper spray.
Never charged in connection with the gun police found in his trunk.
No, because due to whatever amendment, he's allowed to fucking carry it.
Sentence, 10 years. Suspended after he serves at least 3 years in prison. And he must register as a sex offender.
10 years. That's, I think, the longest we've seen so far. Quick look at the comments. It says, this guy deserved 15 years in prison. And the fact he tried to lure her out instead of coming inside, the things he had in his car, the extra pair of shoes, I did not clock that. I saw the shoes, but I didn't think about them being in relation. Good point, because he could have gotten rid of his shoes in case the tread marks could have matched where he possibly would have dumped the body. There was no way he was planning to leave her alive. I'm horrified. The fact he basically had a kill kit in his car, along with the fact that he was adamant about not entering the house, makes me believe that it was totally his plan to lure her out of the house, assault her, and kill her, all while making sure he left no DNA evidence or fingerprints, because like I said, he didn't even touch the door. Jokes aside, I think Chris Hansen and the crew literally saved the decoy girl's life. Remember, he isn't crying because he feels remorse, he's crying because he got caught. The dude has the nerve to cry when he planned on murdering a child. Okay, legal process. Buchanan was charged with 3 felonies, held in lieu of 1.1 million bond. That's high. That's more than any of the ones we've seen. On October the 20th, 2015, Buchanan was in court wearing a bright orange prison jumpsuit. He appeared before Superior Court judge and pleaded not guilty. What? Michael Fitzpatrick, Buchanan's attorney, concentrated on what he called other disturbing events of the case. He declared the arrest reeks of entrapment. Are you fucking kidding me? And again raises the debate of whether a sting catches a criminal or creates a criminal. It catches them. He did this to not 1, but 2 fucking 13-year-olds and turned up at their house. That's not entrapment. He sent, without even being asked, he sent sexually explicit text messages and a sexually explicit video and possibly even photos. Fuck off. That was entrapment. Fitzpatrick requested a 12-month prison sentence from the court during sentencing. 1 year? You want to put this guy in prison for 1 year? Are you joking? He argued that rather than prison, his client required treatment. He can have treatment while he's in prison. He attempted to claim that both of the decoys his client interacted with provided the attention that was lacking in his life. Someone of consenting age also would have been the attention he required. Nothing to do with it. Actively talking to someone underage when you could have talked to any consenting adult reeks of pedophile. Additionally, pleading for compassion on Buchanan's behalf was Bill O'Brien, the athletic director of the Sterling House in Stratford. What are you hiding? O'Brien stated that although he was uncertain of Buchanan's motivations for attempting to sexually assault a child, he stated that Buchanan had already paid the price by getting fired from his job. That is not a consequence. That is ensuring that other people are not put at risk within your company. You're doing your part. And breaking up with his girlfriend. This guy had a fucking girlfriend. So, whoa. He attempted to claim that both of the decoys his client interacted with provided the attention that was lacking in his life. But the guy had a girlfriend that he could have got the attention from that he needed. Oh. O'Brien said that Buchanan just needs help. Buchanan emphasised that his acts were motivated by PTSD. Bullshit. He said he now had a new look on life. He expressed his desire to assist other soldiers who were dealing with similar issues. I don't think other soldiers want your fucking help. He's trying to make out that other soldiers are also sexually predatory to 13-year-olds because of their PTSD. Afterward, Buchanan thanked the detectives who had arrested him, mentioning that it was thanks to them that he was still living. While recognising Buchanan's services to the United States, Judge Devlin indicated that Buchanan believed he was grooming two 13-year-old girls, noting how he discussed the sex acts he wanted to perform on them. Judge Devlin sentenced Buchanan to 8 years in prison, suspended after he serves 3. What is the point of that? What is the point of sentencing him to 8 years in prison, but is suspended after you sent? What's the point? Because you're literally just sentencing them then to 3 years. In January 2019, Buchanan was released from prison. 2022 update. Chris Hansen tracked down and contacted the number belonging to Buchanan. The man on the other end sounded like Stephen, but was not. It was his father, revealing he now lives with his parents. Also, immediately, Buchanan's father asked if it was Chris Hansen on the phone, to which Chris said yes. Buchanan's father, not rudely but bluntly, told Chris that Stephen has moved on with his life and is looking strictly to the future and would rather leave everything behind. Well, if it was a child who had been traumatised, they wouldn't be able to leave that behind, so he doesn't get to leave that behind, especially as he's on probation until 2029. So I hope he thinks about it every fucking day. I would have preferred he was still behind bars, but I'd prefer all of them to stay behind bars. Sorry, I was just thinking about the UK not sending rapists to prison because we've run out of room. So rather than, let go of people who have very mild drug offences like weed or something like that, what they're going to do is allow people who are sexually assaulting people, they're letting them just not go to prison for a while. Really fucked up over here in the UK. Okay, anyway, I'm going to call it there for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to give us a like and subscribe if you like it. I'd really appreciate it. Next one is where the guy actually recognises Chris Hansen, so look forward to that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video and hope to see you on the next one. Bye!